Promotions were only allocated 2 billion. When the 2 billions were allocated, only 1 billion was given in the main budget. We were promised, and I'm happy the Chair of Education is here, and I wish the Chair of Education could listen to this, Banameli, that we only were given 1 billion for promotion, and 1 billion remained. Yet even the 2 billion can promote very few teachers, because 1 billion will only promote only 5,000. So I'm appealing to parliamentarians that as a supplementary come, please stand with your teachers in your own constituencies and areas by approving not only 1 billion, but actually the 24 billion we require to promote the teachers. Some who have stagnated in the same job groups for 10 years, for 15 years. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, it's unfortunate the member Honorable Mboko has just completed, but I was finding it out of order to anticipate debate on a supplementary budget estimates that has not even been tabled in the House, and is appealing to members to support. So I was wondering which supplementary budget is he speaking about, and appealing to members to contribute to. And I know he's a very good and diligent unionist in Kupet, and I know the people he's speaking to.
Yes, Odanga. Take less than 2 minutes each. Honorable Odanga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want really to applaud the petitioners on this matter, because teachers in this country have stagnated in the same job groups for many years. When I was a teacher, almost 12 years ago when I left, the teachers that I was with in the same grade and job group, many of them are still in the job group. Interestingly, it is not just money that has caused this. Sometimes it has been because of nepotism and corruption at the Teacher Service Commission. The current chairman of the TSC, for instance, was my classmate. And when he was coming in for vetting, I found that he was 4 job groups ahead of our colleagues with whom I was in the same job group when I left to come for teaching. So apart from just funding, there are many other issues that are surrounding the stagnation of teachers in one job group for a long time, something that needs not to be entertained anymore. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Kemei. Give Honorable Kemei.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to appreciate and support the petitioners, those are the Kupet, for the issue at hand, the stagnation of teachers. With this in mind, Honorable Speaker, teachers play a very, very important role. And it is actually not fair. It is demotivating for them to be in one job group for a very long time. Even with the standard of living going up, teachers need to be improved. They have stagnated for long. Teachers need to be supported. Teachers need to move from one job group to another. And at the moment, we are getting the syllabus changing one after another, but the same teachers are expected to do wonders, which may not be very easy. So I pray that the way they have sought support from this House, I ask this Honorable House to support these very important teachers. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Kenan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also want to applaud the petitioner. Mr. Speaker, education plays a critical role not only in our national development, but in the promotion of Kenya as a human resource capital. Mr. Speaker, this country was recently voted as one of the best in human resource capital by the UN, simply because we have professionally trained teachers and we have had one of the best education systems, Mr. Speaker. And that's why recently the ruling that you made that referred to that report to the relevant committee was great. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge these members, let's save from other areas and support the promotion of these teachers, Mr. Speaker, who have stagnated if really our development agenda, national development agenda, has to have meaning, because without education, without properly motivated teachers, Mr. Speaker, there is no development. And I want to urge you, without speculation, we know supplementary will come, whether it is tomorrow or the other day, whether it will come after 6 months. That particular time, all of us, let's prioritize funding for these teachers who have stagnated in this particular grade, Mr. Speaker, so that we can have properly trained children who will be ready to undertake the role all of us we are doing today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Nyamai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I first of all would like to laud the petitioners and say that I have many cases of teachers in my constituency, both Motomo and Dekoda sub-counties, who have been coming to my office asking me whether I can assist them to get promoted. Honorable Speaker, promotion of a teacher should not be politically motivated. Someone should not know a member of parliament for them to get promoted. Honorable Speaker, I have cases of 3 schools in my constituency that are waiting for teachers to get promoted, and I have been waiting for the last 1 year. And these schools is a secondary school, Vote Secondary School, and Semea Secondary School. My Director of Education in Motomo can attest to this, that the information that I have on my desk is that we need to wait for teachers to get promoted, and it has taken more than 1 year. Honorable Speaker, it is sad that there are teachers who have been very well trained, others who have gone for higher education, and they are not getting promoted. So, as this petition goes to the Petitions Committee, I would like to call upon members of this committee and also the House to ensure that we give the support that is required to our teachers. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Omongina.
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for recognizing me as Omongina, but I always have told you that I'm Honorable Cherusha Mongina, not Omongina.
Not
Momanyi.
Omongina.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I know the difference.
I also want to support the petitions that the teachers have stagnated in the same job groups for so long. From my county, I have several cases of teachers who have been sorting for interventions from Parliament. And I, being a member of the Education Committee, we have indeed tried to deliberate on how we can have our teachers being promoted from one job group to the other. But one of the impediments that we have found out is the budget allocation. I want to urge this House, as we appropriate money to different sectors, let us this time put more finances to the Education Committee so that it can help in this sector of promoting our teachers. So I am supporting, because I'm one of the teachers, and I know how much they are suffering, how demotivated they are, and these are the people who are at the base of the development of our country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
You are one of the former teachers. No, you are not a teacher now. Chairman, Education, you'll be the last on this.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to agree with the petitioners and most thank the chair, the Kupet chair, the member of Parliament for Emuhaya. Teachers have actually stagnated. Having served as a teacher one time, I want to say that there are some teachers who have stagnated as many as 15 years in one job group, 10 years. In the last financial year, the members of Education Committee managed to squeeze out to get about 1 billion shillings, which was a drop in the sea, to assist about 20,000 teachers to be promoted. In fact, what the petitioners are asking, 1 billion is quite little, noting that thousands have stagnated. And the current population of teachers in this country is about 400,000. So we really need money that in the subsequent budgets or any other budget-making process, these teachers need not less than 3 to 4 billion shillings for them to be promoted adequately and be compensated enough. I thank you and I support. Thank you.
Members, the petition is committed to the Public Petitions Committee for consideration and to report back within 60 days. What is out of order, Bowen?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't wish to comment about the petition, Honorable
I've
Speaker,
already committed the petition.
but I just want to ask Mr. Speaker, this petition will be committed to the Petitions Committee.
It's already been committed.
What is the relationship or what is the role of the Departmental Committee, Honorable Speaker, given now in our standing orders we have a committee which is supposed to deliberate on that petition, and again, in the Education Committee, Mr. Speaker, as the chair of Education, Mr. Speaker, and the Education Committee, they have an information which can help. It's not only on the Education Committee, Mr. Speaker, there are many petitions which is touching on different areas, like even my case of blue economy and water, Mr. Speaker. If there is a petition to do with water, Mr. Speaker, and I have an information as a chair, because maybe in one way or another we have allocated some money because of that project which I was told or something like that. What is our role as departmental chairs or the departmental committees in relation to petitions? Mr. Speaker, I think it is something you need to rule out so that we as departmental committees, we can help in a way with some of these many petitions. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You know, Honorable Bowen, your standing orders say that public petitions be committed to the Committee on Public Petitions. As a good citizen, whether you are a chairman of a committee or not, if you have any information that can be helpful to the prosecution of the petition, you are at liberty to go to that committee and assist the committee in bringing a better report to the House. Thank you. Next. Yes, Owen? On the same matter?
The guy who took my name and added a B on front, I just want to say that now that our standing orders allow that you can have a joint sittings of committees, why? Because of the gravity of this matter and the sensitivity with which it carries, and that the Education Committee is well versed to matters of how much budget is allocated and the progression of teachers and all that. I request you, Honorable Speaker, if you may see fit, that you allow that the Committee on Petition does a joint hearing or carries a joint mission on this matter. It will give credence to what the kind of report that we will get. I request you, Honorable Speaker.
The request is declined. Next.
Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable Moses Kirima.
Yes, Speaker. I'm ready, Speaker, with the motion. And I wish to move the motion on...
You are not moving any motion. You are giving notice of motion.
Yeah, Speaker, I beg to give the notice. I beg to give notice of motion on establishment of an emergency price control framework, of which, Honorable Speaker, that aware that the stability and the growth of the country's economy is dependent on sustained affordable prices of essential commodities, thus allowing for regular and uninterrupted consumption of goods and services. Further, aware that the Price Control Act 2011 mandates the government, in consultation with the relevant industry players, to declare any goods to be essential commodities and to determine the maximum prices of the commodities, taking into account any relevant treaty or convention ratified by Kenya, noting that despite the provisions of the Act, global demand and supply can lead to unpredictable changes in the prices of essential goods and services. Further noting that the unscrupulous business practices often emerge during price fluctuations, with some businesses taking advantage of price and deviations to overcharge customers in instances of increases in global prices, while maintaining or insignificant reducing prices in instances of decrease in global prices, acknowledging that there is need to establish a framework to ensure affordability and accessibility of essential commodities and protect the economic well-being of citizens. Now, therefore, this House urges the national government through the National Treasury and Economic Planning to develop a framework for the establishment of an emergency price control framework for essential commodities as a preventive measure to control inflation, spreading, and enhance economic stability. I therefore move the motion, Mr. Speaker.
Next. Thank you, Honorable Kerima. Order number 7.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, the question time for today is not on. The Minister for Internal Security, who was supposed to be appearing today, has requested to be excused for reasons that the Speaker is satisfied, and the House Business Committee was equally satisfied that we'll skip today's questions and have him here the following Wednesday after the 1-week recess that you'll go to tomorrow. So let's deal with the statements. Member for Mavoko, Honorable Patrick Macau, EBS, to give a personal statement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance to speak to the House. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 442E, I wish to make a personal statement regarding my adverse mention in the dailies concerning the ongoing demolition in Mavoko constituency, Machakos County. Honorable Speaker, the circumstances surrounding these demolitions have raised a lot of concern to me and require clarification to the House on the matter. Several dailies of the nationwide circulation and television networks have made a lot of adverse remarks regarding the ongoing demolition of our ongoing investigation into the alleged grabbing of East Africa Portland cement land. My repeated caution and appeals to the county and the national government to address the issue have gone unanswered. There have been attacks on my character arising from unwavering commitment to the welfare of the people of Mavoko, particularly in light of the ongoing investigations into the grabbing of land in Mavoko. Honorable Speaker, I believe that the recent demolitions could have been avoided if the following measures would have been taken into account. 1, the government agencies responsible for land matters should always expedite investigations in cases of land disputes and conclude them in a timely manner. 2, county governments should refrain from approving or allowing the construction of structures without the requisite ownership documentation. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, land control boards should physically inspect land sale locations to verify the agreements between buyers and sellers. Number 4, demolition or eviction orders must only be carried out following clear, legally sanctioned court-issued directives. In fact, any court in Kenya gives the aggrieved 14 days to appeal. This was not the case in Mavoko, Mr. Speaker. Demolition or eviction orders must only be carried out. Mr. Speaker, number 5, dialogue and negotiation should always be given precedence to safeguard the property and financial interests of innocent citizens. Number 6, the land registry in every county must be up to date and accurate in its records and transfers, and should be seated or centered in the locality of the county. Mr. Speaker, the land registry of Mavoko is seated in Nairobi and Machakos County. So there are two entities that issue titles, and that brings the conflict of such titles. Number 7, periodic registration of government officers to prevent collusion and corruption should be enforced. And lastly, the survey office should immediately cease providing conflicting land maps for the same location. Honorable Speaker, to correct the impression created out there by the media outlets, it is imperative to underscore that I am a representative of the people, I oversight, and such accusation leveled against me. My actions have been motivated by genuine wish for the well-being of the people I serve. We must all ensure that the rights of innocent citizens are protected and that our land administration process are transparent and fair. I call upon the relevant authorities to urgently address these issues and ensure an effective and land management systems are adhered to. Mr. Speaker, finally, I want to say that, Mr. Speaker, the Bible and the Quran says that we repent sins that we knowingly and unknowingly commit. But, Mr. Speaker, for this case, I find these sins were committed intentionally, premeditated, and, Mr. Speaker, that's why these houses were demolished.
You are now debating your statement.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You finished reading your statement. That is the end of the matter. Thank you very much.
Mr. Speaker, it's very painful to me, and
yes, Patrick. The statement that I approved for you to present to the House, you have already done so.
Mr. Speaker, I think sometimes in this House, we are representatives, and this is a political process. Mr. Speaker, today, this is a double wage. Yesterday, Mr. Ichungwa was in and out of police stations. Today, maybe it's me. Let me tell you, my colleagues in this House, the people we represent them for good or for bad. Mr. Speaker, for me, going to the side of demolition.
Patrick Macau, order, take your seat.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Macau, I gave you permission to make a personal statement. I looked at the content of the statement, I approved it, and you have absolutely no authority to debate your own statement. Once you've finished presenting it, it ends there. Next member from Horoni.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from Chairperson Departmental Committee on Agriculture and Livestock regarding the planned duty-free importation of male white stock brown sugar in the country until April 2024. Honorable Speaker, Kenya's sugar industry supports over 400,000 farmers and employs nearly over 8 million Kenyans directly and indirectly. However, the sector has faced acute deficits, making it difficult to satisfy the domestic demand. To this end, Kenya has been importing duty-free sugar under the East African Community Customs Management Act 2004 framework to satisfy domestic demand. To this end, the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning via Gazette Notice number 14093 of 6th October 2023 directed that 250,000 metric tons of male white stock brown sugar be imported duty-free in the country until April 2024 to bridge the shortage. The directive was triggered by a notification by the Minister of Agriculture and Livestock of sharp decline in local sugar production due to shortage of mature cane that caused closure of sugar mills in the Western and Nyanza regions. Honorable Speaker, considering that this House recently approved various measures to revive the sugar sector in the country, duty-free importation of sugar in the country ought to be undertaken with caution. It is projected that revival of the sugar industry in the country will progressively meet domestic demand and produce surplus that could earn the country foreign exchange through export. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I ask a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee of Agriculture and Livestock on the matter. In the statement, the Chairperson should, 1, provide a report on the volume of duty-free sugar that has been imported into the country since the beginning of the year 2023, and details of companies that imported duty-free sugar into the country within the stated period, including the directors of the named companies. 2, provide details of the companies that have been authorized to import the newly gazetted 250,000 metric tons of sugar duty-free into the country, including the directors and the directors of the very companies. 3, explain the measures that the relevant ministries are put in place in ensure that importation of duty-free sugar into the country does not slow down revival of the country's sugar industry. 4, provide data on the country's current projected sugar production vis-a-vis domestic demand that form the basis upon which the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development advised the National Treasury and Economic Planning to authorize importation of duty-free sugar. And lastly, 5, explain the measures that the government has put in place to ensure that the contraband sugar and the contaminated sugar does not infiltrate the market during the period of this importation. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Koyo. Honorable members will go back to order number 2. Call it out, clerk. Oh, sorry. Oh, yes, Honorable Koyo's statement is committed to the department, to the Committee of Agriculture. Is Mutunga here? And they should report back within 14 days. Majority Leader, you can communicate. Go ahead, clerk.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, the first one is a guide on authority to retake the motion for adjournment of the House pursuant to Standing Order 33 by the member for Kadhiani, the Honorable Robert Mbui MP. Honorable members, Standing Order 33-2 provides that any member of the House may, with the support of at least 20 members, seek leave to move the adjournment of the House for the purpose of discussing a definite matter of urgent national importance. Based on our rules and parliamentary practice, numerous motions of adjournment have been considered in the House, among other subject matters: insecurity in parts of the country, state of the education, health, and agriculture sectors, as well as the country's stance on various international undertakings. Honorable members, while matters contained in a proposed adjournment motion may be of importance to a particular section of the membership of the House, the discretion to determine the admissibility is bestowed upon the Speaker. I have in this regard approved a number of proposed adjournment motions on various subject matters for consideration by the House. The House will recall that on 17 October 2023, I allowed the member for Kadhiani and Deputy Leader of the Minority Party, the Honorable Robert Mbui MP, to seek leave to move the adjournment of the House on the subject of demolitions in Athi River. Having attained the requisite threshold as provided by standing orders, I directed that the motion be moved on Thursday, 19th October 2023 at 5 p.m. However, before the appointed time on Thursday, 19th October 2023, the House rose out of lack of quorum. This therefore meant that the motion was not debated. I have since received various representations from a number of members that the motion be renewed for consideration by the House, noting that the matter is still live and the concerns raised remain active, and appreciating the deliberative role of the House as enshrined in Article 95(2) of the Constitution, I have acceded to the request to allow the renewal of the motion. Honorable members, in acceding to the request, I made due consideration the fact that the motion contains matters currently affecting the people and which, if unattended, may be detrimental to orderly conduct of operations in the country, including within the land sector. This especially so, noting more recent court rulings relating to land occupation and the ownership in parts of Nairobi City County. In this regard, honorable members, I direct that the House adjourns today at 5:30 p.m. pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 33 for the purpose of discussing the matter of demolition of houses in Athi River, Machakos County. Thank you. Honorable members, take your seats, honorable members. The nearest seat, Kwame. Honorable Kimani, what is your idea of nearest? Because you are worse. Honorable members, the next communication is on referral of a bill to a winnowing process under Standing Orders 131, the Kenya Drugs Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 54 of 2022. Honorable members, you may recall that during the afternoon sitting of the House yesterday, Tuesday, 24th October 2023, the member for Homa Bay Town constituency, the Honorable Peter Kaluma MP, rose on a point of order pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 131. The Honorable Kaluma sought the indulgence of the chair to stay the consideration of the Kenya Drugs Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 54 of 2022, in committee of the whole House. Order. This House recognizes two languages, English and Kiswahili. And even in using those, you do so when the speaker is not on his feet. The member for Homa Bay Town constituency relied on the argument that proposed amendments in respect to the bill were nearly on all the clauses. He averred that it was an established practice of the House, pursuant to Standing Order 131, that where so many amendments are proposed on a bill, the Speaker refers the amendments to the relevant committee for harmonization, a process popularly known as winnowing. He further implied that where the multiplicity of amendments appear to rewrite the bill, the Speaker would order such a bill to be republished. Other honorable members, including the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Gladys Boss, the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Health, Honorable Robert Pukose, MP, weighed in on the matter and gave their input and clarification on the nature of the proposed amendments. Honorable members, having considered the issues raised by the member for Homa Bay Town constituency in relation to the assurances by the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Health and other members, I was inclined to permit the consideration of the bill in the Committee of the whole House. In so doing, I was hopeful that the committee would conscientiously consider that and decide each of the proposed amendments, including those that I approved after publication of the order paper. I also guided the House that should need for certain proposed amendments to undergo winnowing arise, while in the Committee of the whole House, the Chairperson of the committee would be at liberty to stay the relevant clauses to allow further consideration. For the record, Committee of the whole House on the Kenya Drugs Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 54 of 2022, commenced yesterday and progressed up to clause 22. As you are aware, honorable members, the resumption of the Committee of the whole House during today's morning sitting was interrupted due to lack of quorum. The same business is scheduled to resume in this sitting as listed under order number 11 of today's order paper. Before proceeding to the said order, I wish to inform the House that several members have approached me and canvassed their concerns on the bill and the proposed amendments. These members, honorable members, include several members of the Speaker's panel who participated in presiding over the matters. Without delving into the details of the members' concerns, the bottom line was for the Speaker to stay further consideration of the bill to allow winnowing of the proposed amendments. Notably, the members' concerns resonate with the point of order that the member for Homa Bay Town constituency raised yesterday. In this regard, honorable members, I'm inclined to defer further consideration of the Kenya Drugs Authority Bill, National Assembly Bill number 54 of 2022 in the Committee of the Whole. To this end, I direct that the proposed amendments to the bill be subjected to a winnowing process before the Departmental Committee on Health. All members with amendments, including all other members desirous of proposing any further amendments to the bill, are required to appear before the committee to prosecute their proposals. For fairness, honorable members, I advise the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Health, in whose name the bill is published, to consider recusing himself during the winnowing process and allow the vice chairperson or another member of the committee to steer the process. For clarity, Committee of the Whole had concluded consideration of clause 3 to 22. In the event contestations arise with regard to those clauses, the House will be at liberty to recommit the clauses in accordance with Standing Order 136A. The bill will be resumed later on a day to be determined by the House Business Committee upon reporting of the results of the winnowing process by the committee. The House is accordingly guided. I thank you. Members, take your seats. I still have one more communication. Yes, Honorable Bukosa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for your ruling and guidance. This bill initially, Honorable Speaker, was my bill, but it got interest from both the ministry and the government, and therefore this bill was converted to become a committee bill. And having converted it into a committee bill, this is for processes of allowing the government to make amendments to the bill so that it can be able to capture the Pharmacy and Poisons Board restructuring, making it into a level 3 facility to allow Kenya to attain maturity level 3 as per one of the requirements for the WHO. Now I want to know, being now a committee bill, do I have to recuse myself and have my vice chair or any other member?
You are recusing yourself from chairing to the extent that even if it's a committee bill, it has been largely associated with you as the promoter. And fairness requires that you participate in the winnowing process, but you let your vice chair the committee so that you don't get yourself in an uncomfortable situation of conflict of interest or defending a position like you would naturally do where you ought not to do. Is that clear? Order, Majority Leader, I want to make another communication. Honorable members, the next communication relates to the replacement of the Deputy Minority Whip and Jubilee Party leadership. Honorable members, you will recall that on Thursday, 8th June 2023, I issued a communication on update on the replacement of the Deputy Minority Whip. In that communication, I did guide the House that the correspondence received on the replacement of the Honorable Sabina Chege as the Deputy Minority Whip had been effectively suspended by a court order. The order in question was issued on Tuesday, 30th May 2023 in Kiambu High Court, petition number E025 of 2023, Association of Friends of Youths and Women versus Speaker of the National Assembly and 3 others. I wish to inform the House of the developments in the cited case since my aforesaid communication. My office is now in receipt of a ruling delivered by the Kiambu High Court dismissing the matter. In the ruling, the court held as follows, and I quote, A, the notice of preliminary objection dated 12th June 2023 is partly found to have merit in view of the doctrine of exhaustion. B, the notice of motion application dated 30th May 2023 is found lacking in merit and is dismissed accordingly. C, the parties to move to the appropriate forum for further orders in regard to the petition and the application for joinder by the fourth and fifth respondents. Honorable members, I'm advised that the upshot of the ruling is that in dismissing the application made by the petitioners, the court redirected the petitioner to an appropriate forum for further orders. In effect, the petitioners have been referred back to the dispute resolution mechanisms provided for under the Political Parties Act 2011. The matter therefore remains live within the jurisdiction of the competent authorities, even as the Speaker is being urged to make a determination on the matter. Those urging the Speaker to make a determination in the matter ought to realize that the Speaker's guidance only facilitates the transaction of the business of this House. It is not in any way linked to the role bestowed upon other competent authorities by law. Honorable members, from the onset, the process of the replacement of the Deputy Minority Whip has been tied at the hip with a request by a section of the members of the Jubilee Party to be recognized as a parliamentary party. From my communication of 4th May 2023, upon the request for the de-whipping of the Deputy Minority Whip, I received a letter from the member for Nakuru Town West constituency, Honorable Samuel Arama MP, seeking the recognition of the Jubilee Party as a parliamentary party. Honorable members, the letter from the Honorable Arama added to the already existing confusion with regard to the affairs of the Jubilee Party. I had previously received 2 letters dated 21st September 2022 from the Honorable Jeremiah Kioni on the leadership of the Jubilee Party and its nominee to the Speaker's panel. At the time, Honorable Kanini Keka did also claim to communicate on behalf of the Jubilee Party as the acting Secretary General. In my then guidance to the House, I noted the need to leave determination of political party disputes to competent authorities outside Parliament as envisaged by the law. On the issue of whether the Jubilee Party is a parliamentary party within the meaning of Standing Order 20A, the House will recall that I did guide the party. Having 28 members clearly surpassed the threshold of 18 members required by the standing orders. I was, however, hesitant to wade into the recognition of the party on account of the lingering issue of the persons authorized to communicate with the Speaker with respect to the Jubilee Party. Unfortunately, honorable members, the confusion relating to the Jubilee Party did not abate. You will recall that in the communication of 8th June 2023, I noted receipt of a further flurry of communication said to be made on behalf of the Jubilee Party. I received further letters dated 4th May 2023, terminating the membership of the Honorable Kanini Kega and the Honorable Sabina Chege MP in the Jubilee Party. Members at the bar, take your seats. Take the nearest seats. Honorable members, additionally, I was copied in correspondence dated 20th June 2023 between the Jubilee Party and the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, signed off by a Mr. Nelson Zuya as the national chairperson of the party. In the letter, Mr. Zuya urged that the Speaker refrain from effecting changes to House leadership and committee membership pending the determination of an alleged dispute between the Jubilee Party and the Azimio coalition. Honorable members, it is against this backdrop and a lack of clarification on the affairs of the Jubilee Party at the time that I again expressed my hesitation to recognize the party as a parliamentary party. Indeed, as members will further recall, I granted the minority party and the Jubilee Party a period of 30 days to allow them to put their affairs in order. Whereas it would seem that the minority party has concluded the matter of replacing its whip, the same cannot be said with regard to the affairs of the Jubilee Party and its members in the House. As at today, the question of who constitutes the bona fide leadership of the party, especially in the House, remains unclear. Honorable members, on the 13th of June 2023, barely a week after my last communication on this matter, the Honorable Samuel Arama again wrote on behalf of the members of the Jubilee Party, conveying names and signatures of 21 out of 28 members, expressing their support of the recognition of the party as a parliamentary party. In the past week, I have received 2 conflicting letters on the matter of the Deputy Minority Whip from the Jubilee Party. A rambling letter dated 20th October 2023 from the Honorable Jeremiah Kioni said to support the replacement of the Deputy Minority Whip is littered with insults and other unpalatable statements unworthy of my mention. The message in the letter is lost in its tone, which is obviously beneath the standard expected of a person who has sat in this honorable house. On 24th October 2023, I received yet another letter from the Honorable Joshua Kutunyi, who claims to be the party's Deputy Secretary General. In the letter, the Honorable Kutunyi claims that the Honorable Jeremiah Kioni was expelled by the party and ought not communicate on its behalf. The letter contests the replacement of the Deputy Minority Whip on various grounds and alludes to aggrieved members of the Jubilee Party not having been afforded access to internal dispute resolution mechanisms to address their grievances. It concludes by reiterating the claim for the recognition of the Jubilee Party as a parliamentary party in the National Assembly. Honorable members, while it is not the duty of the Speaker to organize how parties are run, you will agree with me that the state of affairs in the Jubilee Party calls for an intervention, especially for purposes of the smooth conduct of parliamentary business. The myriad letters emanating from outside Parliament do not paint a clear picture as to the current leadership of the party. The pending disputes internally and before the other competent authorities obscure the matter even further. Honorable members, the confusion of the Jubilee Party has permeated the walls of this House and affected the transaction of parliamentary business. We now find ourselves in a situation where a small fraction of the members of the party seems to be aligned with the minority party, while 21 out of the 28 members of the party have expressed their unwillingness to be associated with the minority party. And this has been done in writing. A definite question arises as to which member's interest the Speaker should prioritize over the other, or whether the Speaker should just accept the reality of the existence of these 2 factions and the parity of their interests. From the myriad of correspondence from the various claimants in the leadership of the Jubilee Party, including the Honorable Kioni, the Honorable Kanin Kega, the Honorable Samuel Arama, the Honorable Joshua Kutunyi, and Mr. Nelson Zuya, the cardinal message is the desire by the Jubilee Party to be recognized as a parliamentary party. It is for this reason in the area that I previously directed the minority party as mere coalition and the Jubilee Party to sort out their issues within a period of 30 days, and to date, honorable members, the issue highlighted have not been sorted out. Neither have I received any communication from the leadership of the minority party. Honorable members, in the initial letter from the Honorable Arama seeking the recognition of the Jubilee Party as a parliamentary party, the Honorable Member for Nakuru Town West rightly observed that Article 36 of the Constitution on freedom of association and Article 38 of the Constitution on political rights confer upon each member of the House the right to determine which entities they wish to be associated with and the right to make political choices. It therefore logically follows that the current uncertainty with regard to the affairs of the Jubilee Party does not abode well for the continuity of the business of the House and the full participation of the members of the party in the House. Honorable members, Standing Order 20A governs the manner of recognizing parliamentary parties and designating party leaders and whips in the National Assembly. From my reading of the Standing Order, it allows a party or a coalition of parties that is not the minority or majority party to designate their leader, whip, and deputy whip upon recognition as a parliamentary party. Whereas the Standing Order notes that the whips of such party are appointed for purposes of the transaction of the business of the House, it is strikingly silent on the purpose to be served by having such a leader in the House. At the moment, I'm of the considered view that apart from creating unnecessary confusion, allowing the existence of a leader other than the leader of the majority party, or the leader of the minority party would be an affront to the constitutional underpinning and recognition of the majority party and the minority party. Honorable members, who served in this House before the promulgation of the current Constitution and who are well versed with the parliamentary traditions bear testament to the fact that a party that is not the majority or minority party in a presidential system, or which is not in government or the official opposition in a parliamentary system, is normally afforded minimal facilitation by the House. At most, such a party is only entitled to a whip. Honorable members, before making my determination on this matter, I would like to draw the attention of the House to a press statement that was recently issued by the minority leader in company of his deputy on this subject. I shall not reproduce the contents of the statement made by the member for Gunja, issued after the sitting of the House on Thursday last week because of their unpalatable nature. I will only note that it is unfortunate and highly regrettable that the leader of the minority party chose to publicly cast aspersions on valid parliamentary processes, even after he and his deputy had separately visited my chambers and held a very cordial discussion with me on this pertinent matter. Honorable members, the distinguished members ought to have known that unlike the previous court orders in this matter, which would be validated through the e-filing system, the order for dismissal was manually extracted and served on the Speaker by the leader of the minority party. From our own records, there also existed doubt on whether the House was represented by counsel at the time the ruling was delivered. The leader of the minority party may have been unaware that I was only formally briefed on the developments of this matter on Thursday, 19th October 2023, upon verification of the status of the matter. It is incumbent upon me as your Speaker to ensure that any adverse actions I take are valid, justified, and lawful, and in this respect I am enjoined to satisfy myself with regard to the authenticity of any information that I convey to this House. Honorable members, I expect the leadership of the House to conduct themselves with decorum and respect for the high office that they have been entrusted with. In this regard, the conduct and statements attributed to the leader of the minority party, including the wild aspersions cast on the person of the Speaker, leave a lot to be desired and are a stain on the privilege and prestige of the institution of Parliament. The Speaker takes a very dim view of this kind of unproductive and unhelpful conduct. Honorable members, going back to the matter at hand, you will recall that my predecessor, Speaker Kenneth Marende, was faced with a similar situation in April 2009 during the 10th Parliament. At the time, President Kibaki had appointed his vice president as the leader of government business in this House, which prompted the then Prime Minister to write a letter to the Speaker appointing himself to the same position. This resulted in an impasse that threatened to paralyze parliamentary business. In his ruling, honorable members, Speaker Marende broke the deadlock by adopting an interim measure that resulted in the chair of the House Business Committee being occupied by the Speaker. Additionally, the Speaker tasked the joint government chief whips to run the affairs of the government in the House and threw the ball back to the President and the then Prime Minister to solve the impasse. Honorable members, the Speaker will not shy away from the reality that two factions of the Jubilee Party are tearing each other apart and are unfairly dragging the Speaker into their wars of supremacy. However, to the extent that both factions collectively and separately have a stake in the conduct of parliamentary business, I'm inclined to exercise the powers conferred upon me by Standing Order Number 1 to facilitate the continuity of the business of the House until such a time as the competent authorities make a final determination with regard to the disputes relating to the affairs of the Jubilee Party. In summary, honorable members, I guide the House as follows. that there currently exists no bar against the decision made by the minority party to replace its deputy whip. Standing Order 20A5 requires the Speaker to convey a decision to replace a whip to the House. In this regard, the Honorable Mark Mwenje MP forthwith replaces Sabina Chege MP as the deputy whip of the minority party. That to give effect the provisions of Article 36 of the Constitution on freedom of association and Article 38 of the Constitution on political rights, which confer upon each member of the House the right to determine which entities they wish to be associated with and right to make political choices. Order. The Jubilee Party is hereby recognized as a parliamentary party within the meaning of Standing Order 20A. This recognition does not in any way elevate it to or affect the status given to the majority party and the minority party by the Constitution and the standing orders. That consequently, the Honorable Sabina Chege, by virtue of the written support of 21 members out of 28 members of the Jubilee Party in the House, in the letter dated 13th June 2023, and on account of her having been the last officially recognized member of the Jubilee Party, forming part of the leadership, is allowed to perform in the interim the role of the whip of that party in the House. That the foregoing guidance is issued in the interim purely for purposes of facilitating the continuation of the business of the House until such time as the Speaker will be properly seized of the final determination of the matters relating to the Jubilee Party by the competent authorities. The House is accordingly guided. Next order.
Order number 8, the National Youth Council Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2023, second reading. Question to be put.
Order. Honorable Wandai. Order. Order, honorable members. The House is still in session. Order. Order, honorable members. Take your seats. Or those who want to recess from the House, do so quietly. Honorable Wandai, I'll give you
The Honorable Speaker, first and foremost, I wish to thank you for finally effecting the communication from my office regarding the change in the holder of the office of the Deputy Minority Whip. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I want to reserve my comments on the issue of the status of the Jubilee Party for now. But thirdly, Mr. Speaker, in view of your ruling or communication, I want to submit that since I did my first letter to you on the 6th of April, 2023, communicating the removal of the Honorable Sabina Chege, which has now been affirmed by the courts and by the Speaker, that the Speaker finds that for the time between the period between the 6th of April...
Honorable members, I can barely hear what the... Honorable Mwenje, I know it's now a time for your exuberance and excitement, but allow your leader to address the chair.
There's even really no need for excitement. But let me say this, that my submission is that for the period between the 6th of April, 2023, when I first wrote to your office concerning the changes, and today, the 25th of October, our position as a coalition is that the Honorable Sabina Chege has been holding that office illegally. And therefore, whatever benefits, let me complete. Because my second leg, the second limb of this application
Honorable
is
Andai,
that
address the chair,
is that the Honorable Mark Mwenje has, in the opinion of the coalition, been working since the 30th of May 2023. And therefore, the Honorable Mark Mwenje deserves to be compensated appropriately for the work he has been doing since that time to date and facilitated. That is my point, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Order, honorable members. Yes, the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first allow me to thank you. And as they said, when Speaker Marende in 2009 made his Solomonic ruling on the issue of the leader of government business, yours today, Honorable Speaker, also ranks among those rulings that are informed by Solomonic wisdom. And Honorable Speaker, it also ranks among rulings that would have a win-win situation for those in the minority party and for those who serve under the Jubilee Party. Honorable Speaker, I also did note your concern, and indeed I had also noted the same concern, Honorable Speaker, when last week I saw senior leaders of this House, like the leader of minority and his deputy, in a way attempt to disparage the office of the Speaker, and I found it to be completely out of order, and I thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the guidance that you have afforded the leader of minority and his deputy not to engage in matters that would look to be disparaging the office of the Speaker or the conduct of the person of the Speaker outside the chamber without even, and even in the chamber without a substantive motion, Honorable Speaker. Yes. To Honorable Speaker, I will also not want to comment on the conduct of one Jeremiah Kioni and the letter that you have said had, I can't remember the words you used, not unprintable.
And palatable.
The rambling letter, Honorable Speaker. Yes. I will not want to also restrain myself from commenting on the rambling letter by the Honorable Jeremiah Kioni, who, as you have noted, is a former member of this House and ought to address the office of the Speaker, and indeed any member of this House, with the respect that they deserve, including the leader of minority. Honorable Speaker, to also congratulate the Honorable Mwenje on his accession to the office of Deputy Whip of the Azimio One Kenya Coalition. As I equally congratulate the Honorable Sabina Chege on her ascension to the office of Whip. And Honorable Speaker, you may note with your Solomonic wisdom, the Honorable Sabina Chege has now been elevated from a deputy whip to a substantive whip. She now ranks the same with Whip Silvana Sosoro and Whip Junet Mohammed. The Honorable Mwenje now ranks as a deputy whip from being an ordinary member of Jubilee. But Honorable Speaker, I've heard what the Honorable Leader of Minority is asking. At what point do these changes take place? Honorable Speaker, it is my humble submission that the changes take effect today upon communication by the Speaker to the House, not the time when the Azimio One Kenya Coalition sought to change, because as you have clearly said, and I believe the Leader of Minority has listened to your very well reasoned ruling, that there were issues that stopped you from making that communication, including embargoes by a court case, which, as you have rightly said, has now been lifted following the conclusion of that matter in the Kiambu High Court. To Honorable Speaker, and in conclusion, would I be not Honorable Speaker, because the only thing that was left lingering in my mind, just like the Leader of Minority had that issue on the time that your ruling takes effect, I also had an issue that was left lingering in my mind, that Jubilee as a party is now recognized as a parliamentary political party. 21 members within that party subscribe to the Jubilee faction that supports, and I hear the Honorable Kainan claim they are now 27. I do not know, because I'm a former member of Jubilee. I'm not a member of Jubilee now. So if there are 21 or 27 members of Jubilee who subscribe to the leadership of Sabina Chege and one faction, and who are disassociating themselves from Azimio One Kenya coalition. The question that lingers in my mind, Honorable Speaker, can then the Honorable Mark Mwenje, as a member of the same Jubilee Party, be a whip in Azimio One Kenya coalition if Jubilee pretends to have left the Azimio One Kenya coalition? Would that, Honorable Speaker, be putting the Honorable Member for Embakasi West in a very precarious situation, Honorable Speaker, because he may be construed to have defected from Jubilee political party to either ODM or Wiper that are members of the Azimio One Kenya coalition. Honorable Speaker, you know from your ruling on the issue on the question of majority and minority leadership in this House, the status of Azimio One Kenya coalition party, and indeed, Honorable Speaker, the act that brought to life Azimio One Kenya coalition as a political party is a matter that is still contentious to date. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I would want to advise my good brother and friend, Honorable Mwenje, to celebrate with some caution, because he might be construed to have defected from Jubilee. And I am not sure he wants to get into a by-election. So celebrate with some caution, Honorable Speaker, and I thank you for your ruling.
Honorable members, I don't think I want to escalate this beyond where it is, because it amounts to debating the Speaker's ruling. I want us to proceed as follows. Mark Mwenje is the Deputy Whip of the Azimio Coalition with effect from today, not any other time. If there are any privileges and trappings of that office, they will land on him from today, not any other time. As to the issues raised by the Honorable Majority Leader and the Minority Leader, I'll not delve into those. The chips will lie where they fell, and we will proceed in the manner I've directed, and it is so ordered. Next order. Next order.
Order number 8, the National Youth Council Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2023. Second reading, question to be put.
Order, honorable members, order. Order, take your seats, honorable members. The House has not risen. Take your seats. Order, Honorable Gikaria. Order. Honorable members will now put the question at order number 8, which is that the National Youth Council Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 1 of 2023 be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the National Youth Council Act.
Next order.
Order number 9, the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2022. Second reading, question to be put.
Order, honorable members. Order. Order, honorable members, take your seats. Commissioner Macau, take your seat. Honorable members, I'll now put the question at order number 9, which is at the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2022, be now read a second time. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Land Act 2012.
Next.
Order number 10, motion, nominee to one national government constituency development fund committee.
Where is the chairman, select committee on the National Government Constituencies Development Fund? Musa Sirma. Majority Leader. Oh, it is your Your motion, Musa Sirma. Deputy. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the report of the National Government Constituency Development Fund on the nominee for appointment to the National Government Constituency Development Fund Committee for Tiati constituency, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, October 25th, 2023, and pursuant to provisions of Section 43(4) of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Act 2015 and paragraph 5, 2, and 10 of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Regulations 2016, approves the nominee listed here under for appointment to the National Government Constituency Development Fund for the following constituency. Tiati constituency. Name Daniel Rukuno Kanyakera, male adult representative, appointment pursuant to section 43(2)(b). Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, I want to move that this House do approve this name because the position was created by the death of one of the members of that constituency, where I personally, as chairman of the NASC, represented Parliament in that funeral. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, this is in order so that we can have a full committee in that constituency. Mr. Speaker, I beg to ask Honorable Pukose to second this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, you know CDF has done a lot in this country, and I want to congratulate the chair, CDF Honorable Sirma, for the good work he's done. He submitted the proposals early enough, and now he's presenting this approval for Tiati for the one member, and I think that is a commendable job that is done in time. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support.
I thought I'm proposing the question. I now propose the question that this House adopts the report of the National Government Constituency Development Fund on the nominee for the appointment to the National Government Constituency Development Fund Committee for Tiati constituency, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, October 25, 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 43(4) of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Act number 2015 and paragraphs 5, 2, and 10 of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Regulations 2016, approves the nominee listed hereunder for appointment to the National Government Constituency Development Fund Committee for the following constituency. Honorable members, I now put the question. That seems to be the mood of the House. I now put the question that this House adopts the report of the National Government Constituency Development Fund on the nominee for the appointment to the National Government Constituency Development Fund Committee for Tiati constituency, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, October 25, 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Section 43(4) of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Act of 2015 and paragraphs 5, 2, and 10 of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Regulations of 2016, approves the nominee listed hereunder for appointment to the National Government Constituency Development Fund Committee for the following constituency. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 11, Committee of the Whole House. House.
On what?
The insurance amendment bill.
Okay. Honorable members, we are now in the Committee of the Whole. Order, members. We are now in the Committee on the Whole on the Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2023.
Clause 2.
Honorable members, I propose the question that Clause 2 be part of the bill. Honorable members, on this one there are no amendments. Honorable Kaluma, order. Order, members, thank you. Just consult in low voices. I have no quarrel with you consulting, but just low voices. There's no amendment on this one. Therefore, I now put the question that Clause 2 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Thank you. Will as many as our contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Order, members. We need to move together. Order, members who are consulting loudly. Order. Maclap. Honorable Maclap, order, take your seats so that we are moving together and we are in tandem with the proceedings. Honorable Kaluma, again, you are the leader there. Just take your seat, please. Thank you, and even senior. Very well, very well. So we may proceed with the Committee of the Whole.
Clause 3.
I propose the question that Clause 3 be part of the bill. This one, there's an amendment. Let me call upon the mover. The Chair of Finance, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I beg to move that Clause 3 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, this is the only, just for the comfort of the House, this is the only amendment we have on the insurance bill. And the purpose of this is we are deleting the word shareholder from that to mean to leave now the bill to read director, principal officer, or management staff of an insurer. So this is where we are putting personal responsibility on senior management and directors of insurance companies in case there is a fraud or mismanagement of the insurance. So by including shareholder, it meant that anybody who could be an investor in that particular company then would be liable. But that's why now this amendment is deleting the word shareholder to leave only director, principal officer, or management staff of an insurer as the people that will be held responsible if there is a misconduct in that particular company. With that, I beg to move on, Honorable Chair.
I propose the question that Clause 3 be amended as proposed by the mover. Yes, Honorable Makali.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, I want to support that amendment. I think what is coming out, and this also did come out during the second reading, is the fact that we are enhancing accountability matters when it comes to issues of insurance companies. So I support.
Yes, leader. You want to speak on this? Yes. Proceed. Yes, the amendment.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and I rise to support this amendment. Honorable Chair, as I said during the second reading, if you are to include a shareholder, it would mean that you would be holding even very innocent shareholders to account for things that they have no control of. Because I could even be owning a single share or 2 or 10 shares in an insurance company, but the management and directors are the ones who are in charge of the day-to-day running of that company. And therefore, excluding the word shareholder is very progressive, and I support.
Very well. There being no any other interest, I now I now put the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by the mover. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 3 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 4 and 5.
I propose the question that clauses 4 and 5 be part of the bill. There are no amendments on this one. I now put the question that clauses 4 and 5 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
I now propose the question that the title be the title of the bill. I now put the question that the title be the title of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. So basically, we are done with the bill. It was a short bill, and therefore call upon the mover. Mover to give us, mover to move reporting. Leader of majority.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Honorable members, I put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Insurance Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 18 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
I'm very sorry, members, to err is human. Yeah, Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Insurance Amendment Bill, National Bill number 18 of 2023, and approved the same with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Melly to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Melly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to second. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to say that insurance is a very, very important aspect of the national economy. When we have workable and functional insurance companies, it gives assurance to financial institutions, to the money market, so that they function well. Mr. Speaker, you realize that a country without a strong insurance cover, even in the medical field, even in the financials, even in the commercial sector, will actually have a shaky financial system. So I want to thank the chair for actually bringing some of these amendments that entrenches, first of all, ethics, it entrenches integrity, it entrenches financial performance, and also it ensures that the institutions functions well. If they don't function well, Mr. Speaker, you will realize that even the insuring entities will lose, especially to fraudsters. It would lose to individuals who are actually in the money launderers and the rest. So this bill is very important, and I urge the members that we move it and we support it and we actually enhance it. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Did you second? Give him the mic.
I had seconded, Mr. Speaker. That's before even I talked, I had seconded.
Yeah, thank you. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Do we have any member seeking to speak to this? Any member seeking to say something to this? Yes.
Say something.
Honorable Makali Mulu.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to thank the committee for this important amendment to the Insurance Act, because, Honorable Speaker, we all agree that insurance is very important in this country. It's one of the key players in our economy, provides a lot of employment to our young people, and it's a major contributor to the GDP. So when we want to push for serious accountability in this sector, as the chair said, Honorable Speaker, this is the right direction. And I think as a House, we are doing the right thing for this country. We are doing the right thing for this sector, and we are doing the right thing for those Kenyans who are insured. I did indicate that when this sector is collecting money from the Kenyans, they are very excited. They are put on very smiling faces. But when it comes to paying the claims, they start dodging Kenyans. So what we have done, Honorable Speaker, is to make sure that just as just as much as they are happy when collecting the money, they should be as much happy when they are paying the claims. So I want to support and really thank the House for this good amendment. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, there are not Honorable Pukosi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to contribute. I want on the onset to say I support the amendments that have been done by the committee and the committee of the whole House, having accepted those amendments. Honorable Speaker, just like the member for Kitui Central has put it, the insurance companies are always very encouraging. You'll find that they are always approaching you. They'll even call you 10 times just to sell the product which they have. But when it comes to paying those products, it becomes a very difficult process. Honorable Speaker, we've also seen even insurance companies that have collapsed in this country and collapsed with the people's investments. And my neighbor here is telling me about Kenya Re, which many of us bought shares in it. And unfortunately, those shares were not able to reap the benefits accordingly. So these are the challenges that